Hey everybody, hope everybody's doing well today. I'm going to give you a little spring garden tour and see what happened over the winter. Lost another tree over the winter. Well, we'll go through that. So I've got two cherry trees, this one and this one, that are blossoming right now. They're blooming. I think they're kind of in the, I don't know what stage they're in, but I think they're in the beginning stage because there's a lot of them that haven't come open yet. So it must be just starting to bloom. Both this one and this one, both cherry trees. This one over here is a plum tree. As you can see, this one's in massive full bloom. Smells beautiful. And I also had a plum tree here, which I lost over the winter. Now this tree was so filled with ice that it had snapped a giant branch and had died. So the core was broken right to the core. So I sawed the dead tree. And I got these shoots coming out. I don't know if I'm going to leave them or not. My dad said they probably won't bear fruit, so I don't know. I'll just plant. But I do have to replace that plum tree right there because you need two fruit trees to pollinate each other. Two are the same. Well, so there'll be a plum tree, two different kinds of plum trees, two different kinds of cherry trees. And I had two apple trees over here. Those also got, that was the year before so I have to replace those. Trees shot up to almost $100 a piece from $30 a piece up to $89 plus tax. So I didn't replace them last year, but they've come down a bit this year. Now they're $49 a piece for the fruit trees, so I got to replace. So this year I got to get an apple tree, and now a plum tree. So over here I got two pear trees, this one and that one. Of course they're two different types of pear trees, so they pollinate better. And that is an early pear, so that one has come out and already blossomed, and I'm going to show you that in a second. This one is a different pear tree. This is called a pattern pear, and this one also got bent over bad during the winter. In fact, I've got a rope holding it up because it was bent over, so I don't know. It's not looking too good. It's got some sprouts coming out, but I don't know. I got some green coming out of the top, but here's one that's really healthy. This is my other pear. I can't remember this one. I think it's called an early pear. So this one had all the blossoms, and now the blossoms, I'm going to show you, it goes from full blossoms like that one over there, and once all the white petals fall off, this is what you have. I don't know if you can see that. You've got this. You've got these little stem things with no petals. And what happens is all that's going to fall off. And as you can see, I hope you can see, the fruit. I can see that. That little leaf in the way. I can show you. The pear is that tiny little ball there. You see it? Yeah, so the little ball there, all the petals are going to fall off. All that stuff's going to fall, I can't see it. And that little ball there is going to turn into the pear. As you can see, they're all well on their way. So hopefully I get a lot of pears. Last year I didn't get any. It was my second year. This is, I think, the third season. Kind of lose track because I bought these at all different times. But I think this is the third season on this one, so hopefully I'll get some pears this year. Sometimes they blossom like that, I still don't get anything, but anyway, it's getting bigger now. This might only be the second, might be the third season, can't remember, but there's a lot of blossoms. So anyway, I hope I get maybe a couple pears out of that. Every spring, this was the only thing here when I moved in this old crabapple tree here. This is a rhubarb patch that comes up, garden rhubarb. It comes up by itself, and it actually goes twice a year. It'll come up now. In fact, as soon as the snow melts, it starts popping out of the ground. It's crazy. I guess sometimes you'll still be snow around, and this stuff's popping up out of the ground. But it's good garden rhubarb. They look like big elephant ears. As you can see, we got tons of it. And actually what will happen is this will all, I'll either pick it or whatever. It'll die off, but in the late summer, it'll come up again. What I do when it dies off, I take the lawnmower and just, whatever's left, I plow it down to grass, and a second batch comes up. So I think that's cool. And actually, I think these are the seeds. This is what you're supposed to be replanting, I think. Anyway, there's a big bulb coming up there, but anyway, you got these there. I think that's if you want to replant them. I'm not a rhubarb expert. Well, here's my little bowl of, trying to keep them out of the sun. I'm planting these onion bulbs, red, white, and well, purple onions, white onions, and yellow onions. I had a bunch come up from last year. I just pulled them out because I cleaned out the garden box. I don't know. Anyway, it came up all by themselves from last year. I think it's, oh, here's a purple one. Yellow. Oh, here's a white one. So we had a few come up from last year. I just pulled them out because I'm starting fresh. Anyway, I got these garden boxes here because I had them right side up and some toads were going in them and dying, so I had to make sure they didn't die accidentally going in there. So I flipped them upside down. That is my squash. It comes up every year by itself. I learned that after planting squash in there, it comes up like a wildfire. And last year, the year before, I cleaned it all out, got ready for, I was going to put something in there, I can't remember. And before I could put anything there, the squash came back. Like I said, like wildfire. If you could survive off of squash if you liked it, because it comes up like crazy by itself. It's almost like you can't even stop it from coming up. Anyway, this is one of the bunks I haven't cleaned yet. It's kind of a lot of work. You use that garden claw thing. Here is another one I gotta clean out. It's funny, it looks like somebody came in here and slept, doesn't it? Maybe a rabbit or something, I don't know. But anyway, this is my chives that came up from last year. A bunch of grass over there. Anyway, this is where my dill is supposed to go. Dill and chives and oregano. And that's another box I gotta clean out. That is the tomato box. I gotta clean that one out. This one I've already pretty much cleaned out. This is my onions and potatoes. This is another box for tomatoes. That's my carrot box. That's for my carrots and radishes, whatever. This here is where my green beans and peas go in this box. This one's cleaned out. That's what I use, the garden claw. I don't know if you can see that. Just take that thing and just crank it. It works really good, actually. Kind of like a rototiller, but you got to use some muscle. Manual. Manual powered. And then this is my pepper box. This is where I have my bell peppers and hot peppers and any kind of peppers is in this box. And this here was my cucumbers, but I think I'm going to double the cucumber. I think I'm going to use 2 boxes. I'm going to probably build another box. I'm going to do double the cucumbers because last year they didn't do too well, and I really couldn't can that many. So I'm not going to take a chance. I'm going to double up on the cucumbers this year. So anyway, I got to pull all this out. It's got a lot of work. Now, hopefully I'll get all this in by, in the next week. Have things planted. I've got my plants up there by the house. Some started. So there's Caleb. And by the way, these are all raspberry. All outside here is raspberries. In fact, raspberries go all the way around. So I got a lot of raspberries that will be here in July. And I just, last week, I moved the fence out. The fence was right to here. As you can see the line. I've moved the fence out a few times on that side. 2 reasons. One reason is because I could no longer get through here with the riding lawnmower. I was taking this sharp corner, almost nicking my tree, and it just got too hairy. So I had to open it up so I could get my riding lawnmower through here. Second reason is because when you have squared off corners, it's impossible to get them with the riding lawnmower. So I rounded the corners off instead of a square. I moved it out, I don't know what, 8 feet or something, 10 feet. I moved the fence out and rounded the corners now. So it's easier. It's easier from the outside, but it's way easier on the inside. So now I've already cut it with the rider, as you can see. So I've rounded the corners off, so it's easy from the inside to, I won't have to back up and go back, just, it's much easier. I rounded those corners off last year. I moved the fence out and rounded the corners off. And the grass is growing back pretty good, you can barely tell. So, did the same thing here. I was running out of room once I planted my tree and it started growing. The fence line used to be right here. You can still see it. Well, barely. So last year, where is it? Fence line, I don't know if you could see. It used to be right here. But I rounded the corners off so it's easy to cut now. And that's about it. So that is my garden tour. I guess now go to up to the house, and now I've been cutting these vines off because although they look pretty in the fall, they turn red and all that. I've been cutting them all. This is the last one left, I think. There's some over there I might cut, I don't know. But these things gathered up ice and snow and pulled my whole fence over. All this was knocked over for the whole winter. It gathers up the snow and it knocks your fence down. So anyway, let's go over and check out the starters. Now here we are outside my house. The garden's over there. And this is my starting area. Now I have put everything in pots in case there was going to be frost. I could bring it inside. And at first I had things inside here. It was like a greenhouse inside my porch. So anyway, they've been out here for a while. In a couple weeks. It's been so nice. Unseasonably nice. I just love it. So I got just this geranium pot. Somebody gave me that at the store last year. In the fall. Anyway, so I got my tomato plants here in the larger buckets. As you can see, these are all tomato plants, a few different types. I always get the Beef Master and the Big Boy and the Early Girl, Big Boy, whatever, Beef Master, whatever. And down here I got some starting plants. I think it's been about a week. Got peas, dill, cucumbers, starting cucumbers. 515 is where I started these. I didn't date the other ones. Bell peppers, cucumbers, bell peppers, peas, and hot chili peppers. And over here we have celery. This is celery growing in here. Cute. That is a hot pepper I'm growing there. And over here we have green beans. Hopefully these will starters, so I haven't seen them come up. I gotta do a couple little weeds coming up, but anyway. Oh, and another row of dill in this egg carton here. The egg carton one dries out fast, so anyway. So that's it. These are going to be transplanted soon. A lot of these tomato plants, though, maybe, I'm going to be buying a lot more for the garden. But I got to keep a lot of the tomatoes up here because there are scoundrels out there. There is rabbits, woodchucks, whatever. They love tomatoes. They love all my garden vegetables. So anyway, thanks for coming along on the garden tour. It is a beautiful day here today. We have the wind. All you can hear is the leaves blowing and my wind chimes. Anyway, thanks for coming on the garden tour. Shalom.